Just like
This is that
Tess
one song
Holiday.
that you heard so many times, and every time you hear it, you're like, I'm not gonna bump to this song. But then you start catching a vibe. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Local with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Local with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Local with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Local with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, whoa. East Coast with that gang, gang. You know we don't play games, whoa. Hop up on that wagon, oh please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin', right up in your face. We sorry, not sorry, we just stuck up in our ways. West Coast, go ahead, stand up. Put that glass and hands up. Gang, 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 we famed up. Got that change, we bagged up. True love, we stay manned up. Ahem like I'm wheezy, yeah. Rap game just too easy, drip so sick, I'm queasy, whoa. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Local with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Local with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Local with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Local with the gang, gang, gang. Yeah. Watch me finesse, walk to the line. Good versus evil, God in his prime. Always in prime, always on time. Our time to shine. Wifey is fine, I'm doing fine. Glad that you asked. God fill me up, mud in my glass. God clean me up, all that I ask. Wherever you headed.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
I'm afraid I'm self-diagnosing myself with mental illness.
Just like Tess Holiday. Let's fucking go.
I feel like I might be struggling, but I don't want to appropriate anyone's experience. Help.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Whoa, Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Test, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 25 Hundo and 28 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is sponsored by Everston K2 Flexin on all UB.
Fucking Catalina wine mixer.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
All right, fam. Welcome to the show, Saturday, April the Ocho, 2528. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you're watching on the YouTubes. And of course, share the stream with your friends. Drop in the comments down below. What are you smashing today? Happy Swole Slut Saturday. We have an amazing Swole card today, which most of you know what it's going to be. I love a good Swole Slut Saturday. So very excited about today's episode. We have Tainty and the Church both here in full effect. Of course, both completely passed the fuck out. But we do have a big weekend going on. We'll get into some Swole fan posts in just a second. Yesterday, we had an epic overtime event. An epic, absolutely fantastic overtime event. How the fuck ever the stream crashed and it didn't get saved. Huge bummer. But if you were watching live, that's why you got to be there live. Because on the off chance, rarely has that ever happened, but it's gone. But you still have the Drive Mulgaining Uncensored and the Balls Deep videos up there. So go check it out. The Drive Mulgaining was fire. And those of you that were there for yesterday's overtime segment, it was fucking awesome. So make sure you are there live. That way you don't miss it in case the demons take the live stream away. So had a great time. The Drive Mulgaining was fucking awesome. But fortunately for fortunately for everyone, at the end is when it froze. Right at the credits of the Drive Mulgaining. Right at the credits of the brand new Drive Mulgaining, it froze. But again, you have the Drive Mulgaining Uncensored. You just don't have the full overtime segment with the reactions. But you have all the videos from the overtime segment available in Swole TV now. So make sure you go and watch it. It was fucking awesome. Loved it, loved it. Maybe we'll watch it again. Maybe we'll do that one again next week. That way we have it recorded. So people that missed it in the live, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. That'll be fun. Okay, so that's available now in Swole TV if you missed it. And just wanted to clarify that because a couple people were like, hey, where's the overtime? But I did send out a text that let everyone know. But, you know, it happens. Before we move on, tomorrow is Sunday Funday Q&A. It's Ask Papa Solio Live. We will take some live questions today like we do every live stream. But tomorrow we'll just do questions. So if you have a question and you want to submit, go to askpapasolio.com and call in. That way we can have your questions ready for tomorrow's episode. And of course, Monday, April 10th, 12 noon is our world famous Swole Fam accountability meeting where we'll have awesome new releases and it'll be a great time. So we'll see you tomorrow. And of course, Monday, 12 noon. Monday's episode will be private. Another reason, join the fam today, swolenormousx.com. Links down below so you can be there. It's going to be fucking awesome. Best way to start the week is with the Swole Fam. That being said, drop in the comments. What are you smashing today? Let's get the nut busted open and summon the Falcon, and let's get today's party started. Yeah. All right, fam. Hashtag Swole Slut. Triple S. It's Swole Slut Saturday. Cheers, Leo. Cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Hashtag SSS for a chance to win today's Swole card. Drop that in the comments down below. Oh, someone said, am I going to, in the Daily Swole Telegram, am I going to have a juicy steak or some lamb tomorrow for Easter dinner? You know what? Until you mentioned it, I didn't even know it was Easter. I'm going to have a steak. I'm not going to have lamb. I'm going to have steak because steak is awesome. And for me, it's another day to make some sick fucking gains. So I hope all of you enjoy your day, but I'm going to have a steak. Why would I have some lamb? Give you a fucking steak, a big juicy steak like I did last night, like I'm going to do tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm going to have some more steak. Is that a thing on Easter for people to have lamb? Is that something special? Is that something that people do? Anyway, going to have a steak. So there's that. Let's get into that tip. Spit on it. No, Falcon. No. What do we talk about? What do we talk about, Freddie? What do we say? No, we can't do a double intro. I know you like it. The tip, please. The tip. Freddie, the tip, please. Babe. Thank you.
Just an inch.
It's cold outside. All right, here we go. Let's get into some Swole fan posts. Oh, welcome, Bobby Boy. Been listening on Spotify for over 6 months. Finally catching a live. Love the show. Thank you, Papa. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you listening and lending us your ear holes. Very happy to stretch them out on the daily. And thank you so much for dropping the comment. We got our first post from Adam. And Adam writes, taking advantage of the nice weather. Got the barbecue going with some homemade beef and liver burgers. Ooh, and some bacon. All right, good man. Excellent. What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? Did those overlays and the sound just come out of nowhere? Why are they still on the screen? What is going on? Francis. Bro. Can we... Why is the busting of the nut sound? This is awesome. This is awesome. One of those days that just the buttons and things are just going to show and... Like, what is happening here? Okay, let's get into the next Swole fan post. People listening are like, there's just so much going on. There's so much going on. Brenda says, pro tip, when I was learning to swing my Indian clubs, I slowed Papa Swolio's videos down to half pace. I could do the loose very slowly. I don't know what the loose is. Maybe that's a typo. Until I did about 100 reps on each side and can speed up. So yes, slowing down audio and video is a great trick. Not really sure why this is in the folder, but very cool. You could definitely slow down the video, and I recommend pausing Swolgo or anything. Pause, watch, analyze, absorb. Make sure you're not rushing through these things. Absolutely. JC, Wokies in Seattle indoctrinating people while I'm Swole indoctrinating my gym. I asked, they bought it. What do we got here? Oh, you asked them to buy a Rogue floor glute. Very nice. Excellent. Those are fantastic. Some gyms have the glute ham, the GHD. They have different variations of that. But if you have any access to, if you really want to challenge yourself, this is much more challenging. The floor glute for Nordic curls. Now, you could do Nordic curls by putting a pad on a barbell and putting a pad under your knees. There's many different ways. There's attachments for racks to do a Nordic curl. You could have someone hold down your legs. There's different ways to do a Nordic curl. But this Rogue floor glute is fantastic. I have two of them, actually. I have one outside. I tell that story. People are like, why the hell do you need two? Well, I have one that I bought. I had one that I bought a long time ago. And then I was on OfferUp, and I saw this. You ever see something on OfferUp, and I'm sure you do, whether it's on Craigslist or OfferUp, you'll see something where it's listed for $1, and you know that's just to get people to click on it. I thought to myself when I saw this dude's post that it had to be a scam or a joke or a misprint or something like that. So he was selling one, and I was driving around picking up some other things. I told the Swole fan this a couple months ago when I got it, and he was selling it for $100. Now, this thing is like $600-$700 shipped from Rogue, maybe more. I'm not sure exactly, but $100, $100. So I had to buy it. It didn't have wheels, or one of the wheels was broken off. Like, it fucking matters. I'm not wheeling this thing around. So I put one outside in case I want to do Nordic curls in the sun. It was just too good of a price. So keep your eyes peeled for used equipment, especially if you have a home gym, you're looking to build something out. But it's an amazing investment. There's also, speaking of Nordic curls and these types of things, there are the main thing that you want to do is be able to anchor your feet. So they have attachments that you can put on racks for the Nordic curls. So a pad, you can use a leg pad that you would use for Bulgarian split squats. You can pin your ankles or your heels under so many different things. They have ones that go under doors and all sorts of different things. So you can rig your own. And I highly recommend, if you've never done Nordic curls, to start practicing. It is fantastic. It is fantastic. It will develop your hamstrings in a way that you never thought possible. You're going to feel very weak. It's going to be a big time weak point for most people. And think of it as a pull up for your legs. It's literally a pull up for your legs. Sissy squats, body weight sissy squats, and Nordic curls are literally pull-ups for your legs. in that sense. It's fucking amazing. So good for you. I'm glad your gym, and that's awesome to have a gym that you recommend or you ask for a piece of equipment and they pick one up. That's awesome. So good. So good. How do you like it, BK? BK says, I have the one that goes under doors. It looks less stable, but is it manageable? Is it good enough? It's a great thing in place of not having one if you don't have a lot of space. The only issue with this one that I wish they would improve the design with the Rogue one. It's like anything Rogue. It's built like a fucking tank, but I wish you could store it vertically. I don't know why they don't make it so it could store vertically. That would be awesome. That would be a great update to the design. Bookworm, we're not in questions, but I'll just take this quickly. What is the best ankle weight set for beginners? Strange question, but light. The best ankle weight set. What are you trying to do with ankle weights? Ankle weights are fantastic. Depends on the exercise. You might only need 5 pounds. There's a lot of them. We have ankle weights that go up to 20 or 25 pounds each. Or you can get a monkey foot and you can strap any kind of dumbbell to your ankle, but certain movements will be better than others for that. But ankle weights are great. Great for rehab too. Great for strengthening and hitting muscles in a way that you won't normally be able to get, especially for a home gym. If you don't have cables and things like that, it's a great accessory. Okay, we have one here from Mark, and Mark says, hello, he swole and she swole. Hope everyone is crushing it per usual. Today, I have to make a swole-fession. Let's get into it. So recently, I got good news. I finally got my bachelor's degree after years of busting my ass and having self-doubt. Papa's words really helped me get through the last year of school. Congratulations. With that being said, I wanted to celebrate and started falling into former habits. That being celebrating with junk food. Dude, this went on for 5 days till I had a moment where I really needed to take a step back and essentially go, what in the fiddler's fuck am I doing? I worked hard to be at this point in my life, and I'm basically throwing years of hard work down the drain. After shifting years back on the right track, I'm trucking forward with my workouts and eating real food now. I'm ashamed I fell back into bad habits, but I am here taking accountability for my screw-ups, and that's better than just constantly lying to myself, saying that it's okay, go on and eat whatever you want because you earned it. I apologize for the long post, but I personally feel like I had to take this accountability for my actions. Hashtag go to the fucking gym and hashtag I fucked up. Indeed you did, but thank you for sharing. Definitely don't want to get in the habit of trashing yourself as a congratulations. It's the strange thing that people do. It's their birthday, so they eat garbage. Or, hey, I did something great. I'm really satisfied for myself. Let me binge eat trash. It's counterintuitive, isn't it, when you think about it? Why am I harming my body when I should be congratulating it with even better habits, right? So lesson learned, and the hard way, as many lessons are oft to be learned. Last Swole fan post here, El Superman Pedro. We got a lot of success stories on the Swole fam. So congratulations, Mark. Let's not gloss over the fact that you completed your journey in terms of your degree. So glad to hear that you finished that up. And I'm sure you're glad to be out of the education system and moving forward and getting past that. Pedro says, tomorrow is the day, Swole fam. I receive the diamond. Truly humbling and surreal to get here. Thank you, Swole fam, that supported me over the past few years through trials and tribulation, growing pains, and shenanigans in our world. Still have to think about what to say. To all of you, though, thanks. Relationships are key to a long and happy life. I'm grateful for Papa Swolio, who built this community. Grateful for the different folks here, Swole ladies and Swole gents. Y'all some classy motherfuckers. I'm going to add that part. Much love, your friendly neighborhood Kryptonian. Hashtag Swole fam for life. Congratulations. I'm assuming that's your promotion. You didn't explain for everyone that might not know, but if you're watching live, Pedro, you can explain exactly what that means for people that don't know. Congratulations, Swole fam, one day at a time. Moving towards your promotion, Mark finishing up his degree. Just like Pedro and Mark, everyone's going to have their trials and tribulations. Not everything is going to be 1,000%. Not everything is going to go as planned. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road, potholes. You're driving on the highway or you're on a side street. there's going to be potholes, there's going to be a nail in the road, you're going to get a flat tire. But if you get a flat tire, you don't just leave your car there and say, fuck it, and then just walk home and ignore your car and just don't have a car anymore. You're going to go get it fixed. I mean, you might have to just leave your car there and go get a tow or whatever, but you get my point. You don't just ditch it. You don't just ditch it. You solve the problem and you keep on moving forward. Onwards, upwards, like Michelle says, and just keep on going forward. If you have the Swole fam by your side and you are able to focus on your 7 pillars and keep that community strong, you will be able to navigate those wins. It's about being consistent, focusing on what you can control. That way, when those winds blow, you are able to stay on course, which is really what you're supposed to be doing. You can't control the winds if you are on the open ocean. You can't control the winds, but you can control how you react to them. You can control if you detour or if you change your approach a little bit. It's important to understand that you need to control the controllables and then navigate those uncontrollables as they will come at you repeatedly in large quantity, and they are relentless. Those uncontrollables are relentless. And once you solve one uncontrollable, another uncontrollable will come. So it's really about making sure that you're fortified with your 7 pillars. That way you can navigate the storm and adapt. Okay, let's get into some knowledge cock. Can you feel that? I'm sure you can. We're going a little bit deeper. You feel the vein? I'm sure you do. Hashtag Swole Slut, hashtag Triple S for a chance to win today's Swole card. Let's take some questions now. Drop in the comments. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. We will take one from Tyler to kick us off. And Tyler asks, Papa Swolio, for someone who doesn't do pull-ups that often, would doing chin-ups with your knees tucked into your body help with overload and strength? Chin-ups most commonly are like an underhand grip. Most people consider those chin-ups underhand. With your knees tucked into your body help with overload and strength. What does that have to do with not doing pull-ups that often? Would it help with overload? It will change where your force is distributed because you're bringing weight up to the front of your body. So the balance and the weight distribution is different in terms of the levers, in terms of the torque, because you're moving your body weight from below you to in front of you. So one thing that you can do for pull-ups, because a lot of people just arch their back, what I would recommend is keeping your legs straight and toes pointed and pushing them out in front of you. That way, because you'll be angled back because your body weight with your legs pointed down and straight, but in front of you, like on a diagonal angle, your body will be leaned back and you'll be able to get a nice straight pull, and it'll hit the lats more too as well. It's a better technique for pull-ups. That's personally what I do. I don't let my legs hang down, then you're arching your back and then you're kind of getting a partial contraction. You'll feel a lot more when you're doing pull-ups if your legs are straight and pointed down in front of you. Let's see. Maggie, Papa Swolio, what club or mace size would be best for just getting into it? So we answer this question a lot, but I do think it's important to answer it every time someone asks because I want to encourage people to get into mace and club. I would recommend starting with a club first. If you're getting a steel club, I would recommend, or one of those plastic clubs, I would recommend starting anywhere between 2 and 5 pounds, depending on your experience with lifting. You're going to move up once you get the form. It should feel too light when you pick it up. If you're doing club work and mace work, it should feel too light. It's going to feel too light because you're used to lifting maybe 10, 15, 20 pounds, 25, and doing heavy dumbbells for certain movements and squats. It should feel light because you're doing high reps and you're doing a lot of torque and you're doing a lot of swinging, and it's a new movement. The coordination's not there. There's a lot of stress on the tendons and ligaments. So it's going to feel light, but you're doing very high repetition. So it should feel very light. I would recommend, if you have a choice between 2 weights, go lighter. And do you have any experience with it? Sounds like you're just getting into it, but have you swung one? Maybe a friend of yours had one. I don't know if you've ever tried it, maybe at a gym, just curious. But I would recommend starting off with, I think a good weight for the average female is just to start with a 3-pounder. And then when you get the hang of it, you can go to 5 pounds. 2 pounds might be too light. If you have some experience with lifting, 3 pounds might be enough. if it's a steel club or it's a steel club or one of those like weight composite, I think I'm not sure if the 3-pounder is technically a plastic or it's a steel. If you're going wood, then you go even lighter because wood clubs are longer. So if you're getting wood clubs, it's going to be a longer club. So if you're getting wood clubs, I would start off with like 1-pound clubs. Okay, let's see here. Heather, Papa Soy, I'm not a big calorie counter. I believe it's more about getting the nutrients you need, but is there a time in the weight loss process that counting calories is necessary? Maybe, but maybe not. Necessary is a strange, it's not really a word that everyone, it's not applicable to everyone. So necessary, potentially, calories matter, but the quality and what those calories are made of, what you're consuming is much more important. A lot of people have issues with overeating. So you'll hear a lot of people online that just say calories in, calories out. That's very shallow thinking. That's very easy. It's escapist. It's excuses. It justifies addictions and not really setting quality habits, not really understanding what food does to the body. It's very easy for those people to poo-poo anything that uses logic and common sense and doesn't have a triple blind study. Well, there's no study that shows that aspartame and artificial sweeteners are bad for you. Well, that's just this. That's just, come on. You have to think logically. All these novel foods and artificial foods and unnatural concentrations of seed oils and vegetable oils and all these different things, they negatively affect the body. We know that. You don't need a triple blind study to have an abundance of evidence of just people's habits and what they consume and the changes over the course of the last several decades to notice that these foods do not have any place in the human diet. Now, that's still, in my opinion, it's many people's opinion that think independently and critically and aren't trying to justify addictions. So when you eat quality nutrient-dense food, you're going to be more satisfied. You're going to get rid of these inflammations. You're going to get rid of the hyper novelty of what you're consuming. A lot of the cravings will disappear over time. It takes months, but they will disappear. They'll go away. You'll sleep better. You'll feel better. You will resensitize to all of these different foods that you used to eat all the time that all of a sudden start smelling bad to you. You'll react terribly to them because your body has eliminated those defense mechanisms because you're not exposing yourself to them as often. You really start snowballing and enjoying taking better care of yourself. So when you're eating nutrient-dense food, your hunger mechanisms, your satiety mechanisms will be reset and you'll actually get full when you're full. You're not going to want to overeat. You're going to be full from eating X amount of beef. You're not going to want to eat 4 ounces more. It's like, oh my God, no, I can't. But then if you had ice cream in front of you, ooh, you just fucking pound that. Or ooh, something else sweet or some candy or sugar or soda, you would just go ham bone Jones on it. Because most of these hyperpalatable foods have this combination of fat, sugar, and salt, and you can't put it down. And unfortunately, they use vegetable oils, just straight sodium, and usually processed sugar and corn syrup and starch and things like that. So those combinations make these foods hyperpalatable and interrupt your body's messaging system, which is the hormone, the endocrine system, letting you know when you're full, telling you you're not hungry anymore. So you'll tend to overeat. So solving for the quality and nutrient-dense food will take care of most of the downsides of overeating because you'll just feel full and you have to get to the source of the problem. So calories do matter, but nutrient density matters so much more. Counting your calories becomes much less of a necessity when you're focusing on nutrient-dense foods. So is there a time? Sure, there could be a time. Doesn't mean you aren't aware. You can get an idea of what you're consuming. But in terms of training hard, consuming proper food, you're going to find as you get more into those habits that you're not going to have to be like, hey, I can't have that because it's going to be over my calorie limit. You're going to eat to satisfaction, just be fucking full. And people should be having a time restricted eating window too. You shouldn't be eating from sun up to sundown. If you're eating within a 4 or 6 hour window, how much beef and fruit, like how much can you eat in that time period? If you're lifting and doing other things, you're not going to have the time and you're just going to be full for longer periods of time. When we eat nutrient dense food, you're going to be more satisfied and you're just not going to have those cravings. You're not going to have that insulin roller coaster where you get hungry half an hour after you're done eating. Erin, Papa Solio, how should I get started with meditation? Well, you can start with the 5-minute brain gains in the brain gains meditation section. You've never done that? yet, that's what I would recommend. You can also just sit down nice and upright in a quiet place and just breathe and set a timer for 5 minutes and just focus on your breath. Don't worry about thinking about anything. If you think about things, that's fine. Just sit there quietly for 5 minutes. Don't move. That's a very simple way to do it. Just start off with a 5-minute brain game meditation and start off with a habit that you can be consistent with and do it every day, 5 minutes. Let's see here. Scroll. Let's take a call. Adil Amir, you're on the line.
Hey, Papa Swodio. I'm just wondering, when are you going to be doing like your like ringtones? Because it'd be awesome if you could like do like your little wake up, you beach, and go to the bugging gym, and have that one like as a ringtone for like an alarm tone as well. Because that you know, it'd be funny and it'd be awesome at the same time. So yeah, and also just want to let you know that I'm a big fan, very big fan. I've been working hard in the gym as much as I can, and my nutrition is getting there, and I thank you for, you know, for the discipline and the want to go to gym. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for the call, and I'm glad that you're going to the fucking gym. Also, the ringtones have been available for a long time on papaswolio.com. So we have the Wake Up You Beach. We have a bunch of different options, and we're adding new ones and rotating them through. So go to papaswolio.com and check out the ringtones and the alarms. So we got them already, and I'm glad that you are enjoying the content, and I appreciate your time and attention and your question. But we are way ahead of you. Way ahead of you. We got those ringtones already, so check it out. Let's see. More comments. St. Pete Runner, meat isn't nutrient dense. It's calorically dense. Fruit and veggies are nutrient dense.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Meat is absolutely nutrient dense. 1000%. Let's see. Let's take another call. This one's from Mo. Mo questions? Mo questions. Drop in the comments down below. Mo money, Mo gains.
Hey man, I asked the same question over text because my dumbass didn't see this part, but we're fasting during the month of Ramadan. So do you recommend hitting the gym an hour before it's eating time or after eating time when the sun goes down? What would be better for the gains? You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. I would personally do it before, because then you can feast and you can repair. And it's great to train on an empty stomach. And it's a reward. It's a reward. So you're hungry, you're fasting, and then you're going to have a big meal with your family or however you're going to do it. So train hard and then go and then feast. I don't like training late at night. If it's later at night, a yoga class or something like that. Something with active recovery, mobility, yoga, foam rolling, meditation. Do something to wind down in the evening. That's my personal take on it. I have trained at night before. I haven't in a long time. Anytime my workouts go later, for whatever reason, I'm training at 4 or 5. I don't like it. I don't prefer it. So I like all of my training to be done by 2, 3, 4 o'clock, depending on when I start training, depending on the day. Today, for example, did my morning mule, cold plunge, and then front and reverse sled pulls, and then I do some club work. So I did some 15-pound steel club and 20-pound steel club for a little bit until I start getting a sweat. And then we came in, made some coffee. Dogs were all taken out, stuff like that. So it was kind of a nice chill morning. It stormed really hard here last night. So anyway, today is going to be just some more swinging. I'm just going to swing some more clubs and do some odds and ends, active recovery, sauna, stuff like that. So I'll do some calves, maybe some kettlebell stuff, maybe some more swings. But it's not going to be anything really. So I don't mind doing that a little bit later. But if you're lifting weights, especially for Ramadan, I would just do it before you eat. Doing it after you eat, especially if you're eating a big meal, You're going to be up really late. You're going to be pushing that late. You have to digest. I'm not a fan of training after eating a lot of food, especially if you're eating a big meal. All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, Mo. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a couple more questions. If you do want to call in, so that's all the calls that we have for today. But tomorrow is the Sunday Fun Day Red, White, and Swole Q&A. So make sure that if you want to call in today, call in as soon as possible. That way we can compile all the questions and the calls. So if we get it too close to showtime, we're not going to have it available. So make sure you call in with your question, and we'll just do tons and tons of questions tomorrow. So only questions tomorrow. Only questions, lots of them, whatever you got. We'll go through it. So let's take a couple from Instagram. If you have any more live questions, drop it. Hashtag AskPapaSwolio. We got a similar question yesterday. Kulunguele JBC. Best calisthenia routine. No money for gym at the moment. So we have, what is that, the euro? The euro symbol? No euros for gym at the moment. So there is no best routine for anything. It depends on what your goals are, what your experience is. So calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, rings, jump rope, body weight stuff. It's fantastic. You're going to build muscle. You could build a significant amount of muscle, especially in your upper body. And everyone's going to be different with that. Of course, your nutrition matters, your overload matters, your frequency, your volume matters. You could use bands. It's not really calisthenics, but you can do push-ups with bands, which are fantastic around your back. You can do push-ups are fantastic. Pull-ups are fantastic. But if you really want to build muscle, make sure you're doing time under tension. You want to build up with the volume. You can do pulse reps. You can do weighted reps. Maybe you can hold a weight or a rock or a water bottle or something, tie a gallons of water, the plastic bottles have a handle. You can probably tie some sort of belt and put it under you. That's 5, 6, 8 pounds or something like that you can fill it up with sand. You can make your own weights. You can challenge yourself a lot with calisthenics and body weight stuff. So get into yoga as well. But there really is no best routine. It depends on what your experience is and what you have access to. If you have a pull-up bar, you're going to a park. This is just from Instagram, so I don't really know all the details. All right. Leo Adani, Papa Soy, how long have you been going to the Puto Gimnasio? I hear you. I've been training for over 20 years. So I was going to the gym in high school in the late 90s, and I really got super serious into it in like 2000, 2001. 2001 is when I got really serious into it. So that's how long I've been training. And I plan to do it for 40 years more, whatever I got left in the tank. Sangvi, 18. Sir, so formal. My height, 5'11" and weight is 106 kilograms. How should I lose weight? Well, you want to lose fat. Let's make sure we're clarifying this from now on. It's not weight loss, it's fat loss. It might be absolute weight, but you don't want to lose muscle or bone density. So weight is 106 kilograms. Multiply that by what? 2.2. So that's 212. What is that? Like 230, 235, something like that. What's 106 kilograms? Something like that. So how should I lose weight? You should start by doing an elimination diet, cutting out vegetable oils, seed oils, processed carbohydrates, a lot of inflammatory foods. I would focus on grass-fed or pasture-raised animal products. Not eating too late. Start with intermittent fasting. Eat within like a 6-hour eating window. Start going for walks. Doing yoga. Start meditating. Drinking plenty of water. Making sure you're getting quality electrolytes in. Getting quality sleep. All of those things. 7 pillars. But make sure you look into our content, the elimination diet. It's a very general question. But that's what it is. I don't know why this is dimmed. Strange. OT 20109. Papa, so I go to the gym, but I don't feel motivated to go often. How do I get out of the habit? Strange wording. I'm going to clarify and assume that you meant to say, how do I get into the habit, or how do I not feel like it? Don't worry about motivation. Motivation's bullshit. You're not going to feel like it quite often. It doesn't matter. Either you did it or you didn't. Now, if you are really drained and you never feel like training and you're getting poor sleep, that's a sign that you're not recovering enough. But people have to get very consistent and learn a lot about themselves before they could be more intuitive. So I'll train consistently, but some days there's something deep down where my body's saying, do not go hard today. You're a little bit fatigued. So I'll still train. I'll just do something else. But you have to learn over time what those signs are. And when you first start off, this is like people that are just starting a fat loss journey, or they're just starting training and they've never trained before. I'm just starting going to the gym and I'm going to eat this way during the week. I'm going to have one cheat meal on the weekends. Fuck you. You shouldn't have cheat meals anyway. And you haven't earned that. People start off a new nutrition protocol and training and they already start cheating. So they're already shooting themselves in the foot as they start. So a lot of times people get into fitness because then they can binge eat. They think that they can do it guilt-free, and they use that as an excuse to eat shit. Just thinking. Just putting that out there. Freddie Papasolio, while strengthening and stretching muscles help them get looser over time, are they normally meant to feel tighter a few minutes after stretching? I'm not sure what you're asking. There's elasticity and plasticity. The more mobility you do, the more of a longer or more relaxed resting length your muscles and tendons and ligaments will have. I'm not sure what you mean. Arturo never stops. Oh, yeah. Today it's Sunday. Papa, can I stay today in my house? I'm tired. That's fucking bullshit. No, go to the fucking gym. Let's see. Charla Valentin. Charla. I've lost 40 pounds. What's the best exercises for side boob lift and to rise the titties? Rise the titties.
He's heating up!
I want to rise titties. I've lost 40 pounds. Good for you. The best exercises for side boob lift. Well, surgery. You're not going to lift your boobs just by lifting weights. But women should not be neglecting chest exercises. Strengthening muscles might help adjust some things and build some more tone overall, but you're not going to get a boob lift by lifting weights. That's a mammary gland on top of your muscle. Rise the titties. Jesus Christ. What I will say is most people, men and women, have poor posture. So ladies, if you're rounded and slouching and you have poor posture, if you sit upright, tall, shoulders back, your titties will be a lot more perky and it'll open up your chest. Men too. It's much more confidence. So it might not be what you think. It might be middle and lower traps. It might be posterior rotator cuff. It's yoga and posture. Posture is very important. Lester Stone, a tale of two titties. Yeah. And when you lose weight, you lose sizes. And plus, if you're going off birth control and your body doesn't think it's pregnant 24/7, you're going to lose extra body fat and you're going to lose size in your cup size and things like that. But that's because you're not poisoning your body anymore. Okay, just some other things. Let's see. Freddie, follow up. This is with the stretching. As in, before stretching, the muscles may feel tight, but a few minutes after the stretching, they will feel tighter than they did before stretching. It doesn't make sense. They wouldn't. If you're mobilizing, they're not going to feel tighter after you mobilize them. You mean going back to the way they were before? I mean, just remember, your body will adapt to whatever you expose it to regularly. So in one session, you'll mobilize and you'll feel loose. And then later on, if you're sore or whatever, you might feel tight again. Just because you stretch doesn't mean your body just stays that way. So it's definitely not normal. You shouldn't feel tighter after doing mobility or stretching. That's why you're doing the mobility and the stretching. How soon after? Like immediately after? Oh, I'm tight again. I'm tighter than before. That just doesn't make sense to me. Matthew, some of Papa's best advice I've ever received was shifting my thinking away from, quote, if I'm overtraining to, quote, am I under recovering? Make sure you nail those 7 pillars. A lot of what we do here is about your mindset and how you psychologically approach your training, because really that's what's going to keep you consistent. A lot of what you're battling is up in your head. Do I feel like it? Doesn't matter, does it? A lot of times your perception of what you are today isn't realistic. It's your own perception of it. If you're in a low mood, if you're not feeling good, you look in the mirror and you're going to be like, oh, I look like shit. Do you really look like shit relative to yesterday when you felt awesome? No, it's just your mood. It's just you are looking at yourself in the mirror. So it's your perception of yourself, or you don't feel big, or you don't feel as lean. Most other people wouldn't feel that way about you, but it's because of your mood. It's because of your mental state. So once you control that better and control your own perception and your self-talk and how you're approaching your day to day and where you find success day to day, it's not just the fat loss. This is why no matter if that's a goal, it's still good to lose. If you have extra body fat, if you're obese, it's great to lose fat. This is why I'm always pushing down or doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on people not obsessing with the number, because I understand why. It's still good objectively if you're 100 pounds overweight, just extra body fat, to lose that 100 pounds. It's great to do that. But when you're gauging your success and your progress only by what you see on the scale, it will creep up on you, and that will be how you might not even notice it. You might be aware, hey, don't do this. Don't use this as the proxy for my own value and my self-worth and my self-esteem and my view of my own personal success. But it'll creep up and it'll take over you before you realize it. So it's very important that you separate the scale from how you gauge your success. It's the habits, it's the strength, it's getting a good night quality sleep, it's having another day where you crush your nutrition or you didn't allow negativity into your life. Those are things that are going to pay off much more than whether or not your weight fluctuates from day to day, because it will. No matter what you do, it's going to be higher one day, it's going to be lower, it's going to be blah, blah, because your body's always changing. It's dynamic. While you're sleeping, you're losing water weight, you're processing things, and it's continuous. Your body is always fluctuating, holding water, doing this, doing that, gaining, losing, shifting. It's not static. You're always building muscle and breaking down muscle. You're building bone and breaking down bone. Your body is always doing these things dynamically and adapting to its surroundings. So your perspective on it is what's going to keep you consistent. So you think about the 7 pillars, look at mindfulness. Mindfulness is going to keep you on track. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to be satisfied. You can choose how to react to those things that you can't control. Okay. And like I always say, I've been pushing really hard on sleep for a long time. Understand that sleep is more important than nutrition. Everyone asks about nutrition. Everyone struggles with nutrition, and they don't even pay attention to sleep. I'm telling you, when you focus on your sleep more, your nutrition will get better. You will think more clearly than you ever thought possible. You didn't realize that you were living every day through a fucking fog. Your cravings will go away or dramatically decrease because you don't have those exhaustion, dissociative sugar cravings because you're actually well rested. You're not going to need the same amount of caffeine and sugar in the morning. All these other habits will cascade from getting better sleep. It's so underrated. And if you realize that objectively sleep is more important than nutrition, and if you already pay a lot of attention to your nutrition and you don't pay much attention to your sleep, there's that realization. I've been putting the cart before the horse. Objectively, sleep is more important. Objectively. And if you're focusing a lot of attention on nutrition and not on sleep, then you're missing. Talk about foundational. Talk about not paying attention to what is most important. And it's very easy to overlook it for whatever reason. But it's not as glamorous, right? It's not looking in the mirror, I'm shredded. But if you get a good night's sleep, your skin looks better. You'll be more leaner. You're not going to retain as much water. Your cortisol, your stress hormone levels are more balanced. Your emotional state is more clear. You'll make better decisions. You're not going to have the same type of cravings, because if you're going through your day chronically exhausted, your body is so fatigued. Guess what you're going to have? Sugar cravings. Because your body is exhausted. It needs a boost. So it's going to be like, hey, give me some sugar. I need some carbs. I need some carbs. I need some sugar. And then you're going to crave sugar. But if you're getting quality sleep, you're not going to have those same types of cravings because you're not having the crash because you're actually recovered. Okay. Let's get into some balls deep content. Let's fucking go. That's deep. All right. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. The Daily Swole is available everywhere. We're streaming live on Rumble, Odyssey. You can listen to the podcast. YouTube, you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, everywhere and anywhere. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy the show. And we've had a lot of people watching the show on Rumble lately. So thank you everyone for following over there. We stream it also inside the Daily Swole Telegram chat for members. Just a lot of different options. Someone asked earlier, how come more people don't watch inside the Telegram chat? It's because YouTube's totally great. YouTube's great. You know, streaming services are much more complicated than people give them credit for. And, you know, YouTube is just a literally epic app in terms of streaming. Now, of course, they do censorship and all those other things, but, you know, it's easier for most people to watch and listen in the background and chat. So it's totally cool. But I like to give everyone options where you can watch at your own convenience. So you can watch wherever you want. I'll put the stream as many places as I possibly can and let you all watch where you want to. Wherever you want to watch. Wherever you want to watch, you can do so. All right, let's get into a couple of videos and then we'll wrap this up and have a great rest of the day. Let me move this over a little bit. Let's see if we have any appetizers. Do we have any really short videos? Little tip videos? Not really. These people are all starting to look the same. Is that the same girl? Why is it the same girl? Hold on a second. Okay, so we have two videos. I'm not doing the two videos of the same person today. Let's see what we got here. Pick a number. I'm going to let you all decide. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. One, two, or 3. Let's go with Julian in the Daily Swole Telegram chat. Julian, number 2. Julian. Julian, number 2. All right, we're starting with number 2. Blame Julian. All right, everyone should be a fat liberationist. So everyone should be liberating. Liberate it. How do you liberate fat? Just let out, like loosen your belt? Unbutton your pants or something like that. All right, let's see what we got here. Number 2. Everyone
should be a fat liberationist.
Time. What in the fuck is going on with your eyes?
Come on, man.
Time out. The fuck is that?
The fuck is that?
What is that? What is that? Oh, God damn it.
Everyone should be a fat liberationist. It's really quite simple. Everyone in a society that has the system of fat phobia within it, which is most westernized or colonized areas, is going to be negatively impacted by fat phobia and anti-fat bias. Depending on how small or large you are, the fat phobia and anti-fatness will affect you in different ways.
I have a headache.
And will have different material realities. But no matter your size, fat liberation benefits you. Imagine what it would be like if we were all liberated from the idea that our bodies have to be smaller or look a certain way in order for us to live our best lives.
I mean, I think it's hard to live your best life if you have diabetes. You lose a limb to diabetes. I don't know how you're living your best life. You don't need cake to live your best life. That's one thing.
Another example of cake gender would be
She's
if
not
someone
done
feels
yet.
like they have different layers or flavors to their particular gender.
This is, that's right, Julian. This is like Kamala Harris if she ate too much cake. No one's benefiting from this. If we were all liberated from the idea that our bodies have to be smaller, again, the thinner and the smaller thing, how about you go to the fucking gym, lift weights so you have bone density and healthier, more muscle mass. You'll feel better. You'll be more attractive to other people. And then you won't be able to talk all this shit because you'll have a fucking dick in your mouth finally. Thank God. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? That's a straight fact. You can't whine and complain if you got some knowledge cock in there. Oof.
way in order for us to live our best lives. Imagine if everybody could wear what they wanted to wear without having to worry whether or not they'll be able to find it in a store near them or not. Imagine spending your time worrying about anything other than your body.
As she makes an entire video talking nonstop about her body and other people's bodies. I don't know what's going on with her face, but there's a lot to be
God damn it,
desired.
I don't know what it is about
There's
your
something
face,
going on
but I
here.
want to deliver one of these right in your suck hole.
Is there anything I can do to work on that?
No, not really. It's your face.
You know, imagine spending your time worrying about anything other than your body. Coming from someone who just worries about her body all the time. Her ad is fierce fat femme. Like, talk about your entire identity is around your body. Imagine if everybody could wear what they wanted to wear without having to worry about whether they or not they'll be able to find it in a store near them or not. All right, aside from the terrible grammar, the world isn't here to cater to you. It's called capitalism, which you hate. It's called capitalism, which you hate. Start a business that makes clothes that you want to see if you don't see it. It's called supply and demand. Okay, if there's more demand, someone will fill that need. Stores are not required to have your size. They'd go broke. It's not worth it to them to make everything in every size that can fit everyone possibly in the entire conceivable universe. Okay, so this is that victim mentality that everyone should be catering to me. Everything should be easy for me. And I always say this when it comes to the clothing store bullshit. I can't find stuff in stores. I have to go to specific stores. I might have to pay extra to get fucking jeans or pants that fit me or shirts that fit me well. Not everything fits people. There's more stuff today than there was 10 years ago because it's more popular to go to the gym. There are a lot more micro brands and people that are filling that need. Now they make these jeans that can stretch because in the past, I couldn't put on a pair of fucking pants because if I purchased jeans, for example, that fit my legs, the waist would be like a 48 because people didn't have muscular legs and a smaller waist. So the waist would literally have a foot of extra material, or it would tighten and then I would bend down and it would pull down past my ass crack. I wouldn't be able to bend my knees. So now they have different materials that can stretch underneath so I can squat down and but they're not cheap. They're not something that you find everywhere. You might pay out the ass for those things, but that's what it costs for custom type materials. It's called shopping. I mean, many people don't find what they like or what they want when they go. It used to be called shopping. It used to be called shopping. You would go and look for things. You try things on. Oh, they don't have my size. Oh, well. So you go to another store. Or like, oh, this is really cute. Oh, do you have this in a size? Oh, you don't? Okay. Or you go and get something hemmed. You go get it adjusted. But then they'll complain, oh, you're making a size 5X, but how come it costs more? Because you're using 3 times the fucking material. Shit's not free. That's what this fucking communism shit's all about. Everyone should have everything the same way. Things aren't even. Things aren't equal. You can choose whether or not you're 500 pounds. Okay, if you're wider than you are tall, you can choose that. That's lifestyle habits. If you're 7 feet tall and you have a size 18 foot, that's genetic. That's luck of the draw. That sucks. But they have stores for that. They have big and tall stores, and they have a lot of other brands out there. So today it doesn't really fly. You can find plenty of things to wear. There are other brands, right? There's those fat brands like Torrid that make you believe that you're thinner than you are. A Torrid size 2, which is a normal size 50. There are stores out there that cater to fat people. The question is, why are you trying to stay fat? Why are you trying to stay fat? Because that's all you bring to the table. That's all you bring to the table before you eat everything off of it. @ fierce fat femme. That's your actual identity. Your name is fierce fat femme. So you can't be a fierce thin femme because you're telling everyone that they're fat phobic and that they're a bad person for wanting to not be fat. So you can never take good care of your health because then you lose your following. You'd be a hypocrite. as you already are, talking about how you should not be talking about people's bodies as you make an entire fucking video for a minute talking about liberating people's fucking bodies. What do you, they don't, that circle, you can't square that circle. The hypocrisy is real. It's always like that with leftists. It's always like that. They blame you for what they're doing themselves. Don't talk about bodies. Don't talk about fat. Don't talk about this. As you talk nonstop about it, as your fucking screen name is that. As all you do is talk about how everyone's oppressing you. By this point, you could have started a fucking business catering to people that are crying and complaining just like you. Or go to the gym and change a couple habits, and then you'll have to change your whole identity. I know that's the scaries, but for fuck's sake, fam. All right. Let's see. So there's that. All right, we got one more. Let's pick a number, 1 or 2. What's it going to be? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? Number 1 or number 2? Let's see. Let's get some ladies. We got a lot of ladies here that are used to buying clothes. More women care about this stuff than men. So let's see. Mariah, can stores start catering to my short ass and wide feet while we're at it? I'm tired of the hobbit shaming. Do better. Let's see here. Short ass. Let's see. Lady Hawk, another store with that stupid torrid sizing is Chico's. I'm apparently like a size 1 there. What the fuck? Chico. I haven't even heard of that. All right, let's see. We got a couple people dropping numbers. Let's see what we got here. Let's go with Mariah Rogers, number 2. All right, number 2. Weight is not an indicator of health. Well, just based on the title, saying weight is not an indicator of health. So let's take that to let's take that further. Weight is not an indicator of health. If you have 2 people, and one of them is 500 pounds and one of them is 150 pounds, which one do you think is healthier? Objectively, they're both the same height. One person's 500, one's 150. Who's healthier? Obviously the one that's not 500 fucking pounds. So it is an indicator of health. I would say it's an indicator of your habits. It's an indicator of your habits. And this is, look, I'm always looking to explore this kind of stuff because the term health, think about how vague that is. It's very vague. How are you defining health? It's just like when someone asks me, what is the best exercise? Well, it's not really what the best exercise is. It's what's the best exercise for you. For you. What's the best exercise for the outcome you want to achieve? What exercise do you feel better with? There are certain exercises that everyone here can relate to. Hey, when I do this, I feel the muscle activation a lot more. I feel it in my triceps more or in my back more when I do this in a certain way. So best is vague. What's health? What's health? What's health?
The eyes, Chico. They never lie.
And we've talked about the sizing a bunch of times. Mama Swole used to be a size 2 or a 0 or something like that. Now she goes to stores and she says it's ridiculous. Now she's a 000 or something. And it was never, that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. There should never be a 000. Like, what's less than 0? It's fucking weird. What that means is they're making the size 2 and 4. People are so much fatter, they're resizing it. So you really shouldn't ever be less than a 0. I mean, everything above should be adjusted more. but they want to make people feel better. Oh, I'm a 2. Well, you're not really a 2. You're a new 2. You're technically a 6 or an 8. But we'll call you a 2 because now the 0 is now triple 0 or quadruple 0 or kids. So now you're still a 2, but you're really a size fucking 8 or a 10. You're not really a 4. You're a 12. And this is the weird shit that happens with women's clothing. So for a dude, if you have a 32-inch inseam, that's objective. 32 inches. You can measure it. Waist. Measure that shit. It's 34 inches. It's still 34 inches. An inch makes a difference. Right, ladies? It does. It does. It does. So women's sizing, they can fucking manipulate the hell out of it. And they do. And they do. And yes, Anne says clothes in Asia or made in Asia have different sizes. And if you've ever ordered a piece of clothing that does ship from Europe or something like that, I've ordered t-shirts and things that are on Etsy. Oh, I like that design. And I'll order it and it'll come in and the size will just be different. The material will be different. It'll be a brand that we don't have here in the United States and it might fit a little bit different or weird. Absolutely. Just saying, it's all marketing. All of that is marketing. The fact that it's not an actual inch. The fact that a size 4, well, what do you call a size 4? And a lot of you ladies would know that if you're going shopping, one company or one place of 4 is not equal to another 4, which doesn't make sense. If it's a 32 for jeans or pants, it should fit like a 32. Now, the legs might be wider. It still might not fit the same exact way, but objectively, the length and things will be the same, but it might be wider around the calf or the thigh. One might fit you better than another, but you get the point. It's relatively close. It's objective. A size 4 in a Torrid, you can fucking use that as a car cover. You know, it's like, hey, I don't feel like wearing this shirt today. I'm just going to washing my blanket. So let me use this as a double. All right. Doubles as a tarp. Mariah, I used to be a seamstress and sizes have gotten more and more, quote, inclusive. At some places, you'll see a 22W for 22 women to mean plus size. 22W. Matthew, I've called plenty of 4s and 8 plenty of times. All right. All right. Look at you. Look at you. Casanova over here. Okay, let's see. Weight is not an indicator of health. Let's check out this.
Actually, weight alone is not an indicator of health.
Okay. Weight alone is not an indicator of health. Again, we're talking, I know I'm pausing it early, but again, we're talking side effects. Okay. Weight is a side effect of your habits. So what these individuals will do is they'll jump ahead and say, well, you can't say weight is an indicator of health. Well, what I can say is weight is an indicator of habits. Extra body fat and body fat percentage is an indicator of habits. Someone's not morbidly obese if they're really taking care of their health. And if they are, they're in the process of losing it. So I'm talking about people that are just staying that way and not changing their habits. If you're like, well, I'm still obese, but I'm eating better. Yeah, you're in the process of losing it. So you're in the process of changing it. It doesn't happen overnight. I get it. But we're talking about people that are just that way, justifying it versus people that are taking care of their health, not people that are in that transition. So just parse that out. It's a sign of the habits. Okay. So it comes down to sometimes, well, you want a fat doctor because a fat doctor is going to understand what it's like for you to be fat. Do you want a doctor that has the same disease as you? Hey, I'm going to a doctor that has terrible habits too. Give me advice and information on how I can stay exactly the same and not make positive changes. You don't want a anti-diet dietitian that's obese, that's telling you how to intuitively eat. Well, Papa Swolio, you're not obese. So how do you know how to guide people? Exactly. I'm not obese. So let me share with you what I do to not be obese. To me, that makes a lot more sense. Are you going to take financial advice from someone who's lost all their money several times? Probably not a good idea. Unless they're saying, hey, don't do what I did. Do the opposite of, or take that advice and be like, okay, here's what this person did and had no results. Let me not do those things. Okay, you can still get valuable information. Someone's failures can give you insight as to what not to do. So there's positive things you can get from that kind of content. Hey, avoid all that. All right, let's go.
Actually, weight alone is not an indicator of health. For example, you might see a very skinny person and assume that they're healthy, or you might assume that they're suffering from malnutrition. And you would only be able to determine that by testing other things. Their weight alone is not an indicator. Same goes.
Okay, so this is not untrue. You can be more slender, you can be more vertical, less round, and have cancer and diabetes and have problems. So yes, weight alone is not an indicator, but it is when you go to the obese direction. If you're obese, you're objectively not healthy. You have a better chance of being healthier if you are not morbidly obese. Now, I don't like the thin. I don't like the term thin. I don't like the term smaller. I don't like straight sized. I don't like any of that bullshit, woke ass communist trash. I don't like that. I don't like that language. You're free to use that language. That's what freedom of speech is. And I am also free to not like it and to speak my mind about it. So you can like those words. I don't. I don't like to use them. I like to make fun of them relentlessly because I think they're stupid. It's about having fitness. It's about building muscle. It's about challenging yourself, strength, mobility. Not everyone wants to be a pro bodybuilder. You don't have to be a pro bodybuilder. I'm not saying you have to be jacked out of your fucking mind. When I say get swole, go to the fucking gym, that's going to look different for each person. But enough of the straight size, the smaller, the thin. You want to be fit. You don't want to be this frail fucking thing. You don't want to be a 70s supermodel that's skin and bones. It's gross. Okay.
For fat people, you might see a fat person and assume they're very healthy and well fed, or assume that they're unhealthy. But you wouldn't know unless you tested other things. Because their weight alone is not an indicator of their health. Just say you hate fat people. Just say that.
Why would I say that? It's not true. So this person is responding to a comment that says weight literally is an indicator of health. Just say you hate fat people. Just say it. No, because that's not true. This is what these people hear. That's the problem. This idiot thinks, whoa, just say you hate fat people. Why would I say that? I don't hate fat people. I hate the words that are coming out of your mouth. I don't like them. Hate's a very strong word. I dislike what you stand for. I dislike your logic. I think it's ignorant. I think it's self-defeating. I think it's grifting. I think you're manipulating people that follow you. I think you're a weak individual. I think it's pathetic. I don't think there's anything redeeming about trying to justify staying obese. That's what I think. So I'm not going to say I hate fat people. I don't. Why would I hate a fat person? I might hate the mindset. But at the same time, if you are a person that's looking to do better, it might not be your fault why you are that way, but it's your responsibility from here on out. You're not taught this. Let's be real. You're not taught these things. The education system has failed everyone. Most parents don't know these things. The government doesn't fucking tell you. The mainstream media is just pushing this bullshit, telling you to eat corn and soy and bugs. No one is giving you really good advice. Fortunately, nowadays, we have more independent media like the Daily Swole podcast, like many other podcasts that are talking about actually improving your health. There's a lot of content out there and a lot of people are shouting from the rooftops. It's just a lot smaller and less in everyone's face. So it's up to you. It's up to you whether you want to make these positive changes, but the changes are available. The information is there. It's whether or not you want to look in the mirror and realize, hey, I'm projecting my self-hatred onto everyone else. I'm trying to pretend like everyone else is the bad person for using things that hurt my feelings rather than, hey, I'm not really doing anything. I'm not really doing anything to improve myself. I'm not really putting in any effort. I'm just blaming everyone else for being a meanie head because that's how I feel. Well, newsflash, no one fucking cares how you feel. Especially when you're spreading bullshit and nonsense and more pussification in a country that is already overflowing with pussification. We don't need more soy boys. We don't need more weak individuals. We have plenty. It's time to stop the bleeding. It's time to turn this ship around. And it's like turning around a yacht. Not even a yacht. It's turning around a cruise ship. Think about how long it takes to turn a cruise ship. It's not a speedboat. It's not a jet ski, right? A jet ski, you just pivot, bam. But a cruise ship, you gotta send the orders. You have to drop the rudder. You have to slowly make sure that it's deep enough. You know, depending on the weather, it takes time. It takes time. You can't just turn on a dime. You have to make a nice big turn, whatever. I'm not a cruise ship expert, but you get my point. You can't turn on a dime. Lester says, I wish I could relate to the yacht thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. A big fucking ship. A big fucking thing. So it's time that we come at this from a different perspective. It has nothing to do with hating fat people. That's a silly thing to do. Hating fat people is the same thing as hating someone because of their skin color. And this is all the same vein, right? The progressives are trying to bring back racism. It's all this neo-racism, all this neo-segregation and othering different people. It's like, you're mean because you have these thoughts and you have these opinions. Okay. But it's more, you're the bad person. I don't want to change. I'm going to change language instead. I'm going to change hashtags. I'm going to pretend like I'm a virtuous person by taking no action, by blaming you for essentially hurting my feelings. I don't hate fat people. I don't. It's a very strange thing. Look at that person I hate. I don't know that person. There are fat people that are very nice people, objectively, right? They have good intentions. They're not mean to others. They're just living their life. Unfortunately, the problem is no one is taught this. No one is taught this. So as much as it's each person's responsibility, you have to notice where society has failed these people, has failed everyone. I'm not a saint. I used to eat tons of shit. Overall, I ate better and I was lifting hard and training hard, but I ate a lot of shit. I had a lot of bad habits I'm continuously tightening up. We all have bad habits. But it's a very weird, it's something that we have to change. And once you have that, and here's the thing, once you have that information, what are you going to do with it? That's the difference. What are you going to do once you have that information? Are you going to have cognitive dissonance and pretend like it doesn't exist? That information, I don't like. I'm going to pretend like that doesn't happen. You're a mean person. I'm perfect the way I am because I found some study that I can manipulate to suit my narrative. That's where this is coming from. So once you have that information, and we know what the information, once we use the logic and we see, okay, this is objectively what you're not doing. This is what you should be doing. This is how you make positive changes. And then you say, no, blah, 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 la, 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 you're a meanie, la, 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 la. And they don't want to have that conversation. They don't want to hear it. You're a bad person because you hate fat people. I don't hate fat people. Stop telling me what I need to say. Stop telling me what I have to say. Stop telling me that I hate people when I don't. You just don't like truth. You don't like the facts. You don't like reality. So you choose to live in an alternate reality. That's not my problem. Your feelings are not my concern. That's your concern. That's a controllable for you. If you get offended, that's because you're allowing offense to be taken. A fact does not negatively affect your feelings unless you allow them to. If you let someone's opinion dictate your day, that's not the person that voiced their opinion's problem. That's a person that's receiving it and listening to it. One, stop listening to it. Two, stop taking it in the wrong way. This is not a debate. Being morbidly obese is not healthy for you. You have a ton of extra body fat because of your habits. Well, just looking at weight alone isn't an indicator. Who is saying that? Who is saying that? It's a byproduct of all these other habits that lead to the problems, including obesity. If you're eating shit food and you don't happen to be obese, you're still fucking up your insulin sensitivity. You're still exposing yourself to all sorts of, leaky gut and inflammation and stress hormones and things like that. Different people manifest things differently. You don't have to be healthy. It's a free country, and yes, it stresses and it weakens our nation, and it stresses our tax system and our medical system and makes insurance premiums skyrocket and things like that. But you have the freedom to not take care of your health. You have the freedom to go get fast food every day. You have the freedom to blah, blah, blah. But once you have that information, and a lot of you know this, you'll give someone that you care about, parents, significant other, coworkers, friends, you'll come across information and you'll share it with them. You'll tell them, hey, check out this book. Or have you ever heard of an elimination diet? Blah, blah, blah. And you'll give them that information, and how they respond to it, how someone responds to information, quality information, is very telling. And a lot of times people reject it. They don't want to hear it, and it hurts because you have a relationship with that person. You should trust that person. That person should trust you. That person should understand that you have their best interest in mind. But at the same time, the people that often drag you down or give you shit for making positive changes are those closest to you, because it reflects on them. It reflects on their own fears and insecurities. So it's a double-edged sword, but it's frustrating when you have good information and you know it can help someone and they actively ignore it. And that's frustrating, but that's on them. When you have the information presented to you and you don't take it, that makes it your responsibility even more. So I understand that society is not giving this information when kids are younger. We know that there's so much information that's not given to our kids and not taught by parents, because parents didn't know because they weren't taught. And the cycle continues and gets worse and spirals out of control, as we're seeing. But now that you have the information, what are you going to do with it? Once you have the information, then it's, hey, how am I going to act on this information? And if you don't act, well, that's your fault. That makes it your fault. You were raised by your parents. You were 7 years old. You didn't have a job. They fed you garbage all the time. They weren't around. Okay, you can either cry about it or you can make those changes. You can't change the past. Everyone pulls a different straw, and some people have a better head start in life than others. Okay, so either we can cry and complain, or we can step up to the plate and do the best that we can, and we can work to improve that going forward as a society. But bottom line, you have information now. It's not too late to start. It's time to start today. When do you start? Now. I'm going to start next week. No, now. Start now. Start now with what you have. You have the information. Make better changes based on that information. Take the next step. Take the next incremental step forward. Well, I can't do all these things because I don't have time. You're thinking, no, you're not going to all of a sudden snap your fingers and do everything the way I'm doing things, nor should you necessarily. But you can make a step forward from where you're at. And a lot of people just get scared. They don't want to change. It's easier to not do. It's easier not to do. And you're going to be able to tell a lot about people in your circle, and you'll lose respect for people that get this information and then ignore it and don't do anything. You're like, you thought they were better than that. You had higher hopes. You respected them a lot more. And then you realize, oh my God, they're just like everyone else. And it's unfortunate. But it's really what you do when the information is presented to you. When the right information is presented to you, how do you react? And unfortunately, most people tune it out. That's why most people are most people. That's why average is average. This is why. This is why the mob is the mob. This is why mainstream is mainstream. This is why most people are in that standard deviation, that bell curve. Most people are completely willfully ignorant, and they want to stay that way. Because if they're not ignorant any longer, they have to take more personal responsibility and change their habits and do things that are uncomfortable or against the grain. And they might have to face their fears. They might have to face certain people. They might have to have certain difficult conversations with relatives and this, that, and the other. And it's easier just to la, 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 and ignore and pretend like it doesn't exist. But you're the one that's selling out your own integrity, and you know the truth deep down, and that dissonance will catch up to you sooner rather than later. Okay. Good rant. It felt good. It felt good. All right, let's give away today's Swole card. Reminder, tomorrow is Ask Papa Swolio Live. So if you want to call in, go to askpapaswolio.com. And if you want to join the Swole fam today, go to swolenormousx.com and check out. We have all the meditation that you need. Hundreds of yoga classes, thousands of recipes, elimination diet, full programs, 90-day dash, scorched earth, Swole season, Swole mastery, Swole in 7 section. We have training protocols for activating your glutes, for shoulders, for kettlebell, steel club, mace, sandbag. Did I say kettlebell? I think I did. Core work, mobility training, band work, barbell, dumbbell. We got a lot of stuff. And swolenormousx.com breaks it all down. But there's also free downloads over there. The blog, you can check out apparel over there as well. There's a link. And download the 7 pillars if you're new. And start there. Start there. Download the 7 pillars. Start there. And understand why they are the 7 pillars, why they are what they are, and begin that shift. Begin that mental shift. Begin that paradigm shift. It takes time. And sometimes people in your circle, they just need to be exposed to it over and over again. And they need to see you doing it. Remember, don't be a hypocrite. Don't just tell someone to do something and not be applying it. So keep your head down, focus on you, lead by example. And then if it comes up in conversation, tell them the truth. That's it. You don't have to try. Just tell them the truth. Tell them what you're learning and tell them what you're applying and how good you feel, and be honest. And some people might surprise you. Some people might surprise you and actually start applying these things and then ask for more information. Hey, what would you recommend for this? Hey, what have you heard about this? And you send them the Daily Swole, or you send them a link to a different podcast or an episode that you heard or a book. That's great. Some people actually do respond, and they will surprise you, and they will feel good and want more information. They'll see you doing really well. Mama Swolio has this all the time. All the time. People ask her like, oh man, you look great, or look at your shoulders, or what are you eating? I noticed you're doing this, or I noticed you're eating that. And then she'll tell them. And you find more community in your circle because your filter is hyper aware of people that are inspired to do better for themselves. So as much as you might have some stresses and some disappointments from people around you, you're also going to come across people that are interested in taking action and moving forward. They are out there. And remember, sometimes people just have to hear something a couple times, but you don't have to go out of your way preaching and standing outside on a sidewalk and telling people to throw out their vegetable oils. You don't have to be a street philosopher or something like that. But live in this way, lead by example, and people will see the positive changes that you're making. They'll see your physical transformations. They'll see you being really consistent. And whether they tell you or not, especially if they give you kind of shit for it, deep down, they're jealous and they want to do that for themselves. But once people take a stand of being against something, we all know that. Same thing with the vaccines and all this kind of stuff. Once you take a stand against something, it's that cognitive dissonance. People don't have the humility to admit when they're wrong. So they have to double down and triple down to justify their original decision, and they continue they just brainwash themselves. So you have to understand that some people are going to dig in, and then they haven't worked on their ego, so they can't admit when they're wrong. So they just keep on being negative about it because they've always been negative about it, and they just can't admit when they have fucked up. So everyone's different, but as much as you have people around you that might give you shit for it and be negative and disappoint you, you might also have people that surprise you. So don't go out of your way, focus on you, but lead by example. Always lead by example. Because if you're doing that, you're doing it for you. And if you're not doing it, if you're not leading by example, then you have no leverage, especially with family and friends. Because if people that are in your immediate circle, at your work, your family, in your own house, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, if you are not living by example and leading by example, the hypocrisy is right there. And you have no leverage. So no matter who you're trying to convince, bottom line, you should be doing this for yourself. But understand that people are watching. Kids are watching. Everyone's watching. And it's not that they're just analyzing. Their whole life revolves around watching you, but they observe. And anytime you might falter or make an excuse or this and the other, that's a crack in your foundation. That's a crack in your leverage. That's a crack in your authority when you speak on these things. Because remember, a lot of the people, the reason why it's challenging when you change is because the people that are closest to you, they know you from when you used to eat shit. They know you used to eat garbage. They know you used to eat trash. So all of a sudden, hey, I found this new thing. It's like a multi-level marketing. Hey, buy this thing, buy this supplement, buy this thing. You just are blah, 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 and then it's like the boy who cried wolf. You keep on selling them something every time you come across a new thing. They just think, oh, it's so-and-so, which their latest thing. And they just like, yeah, it's cool. Okay, yeah, whatever. So just do it. Do it yourself. Be on point. Focus on that. Yeah, we already have that planned. Jessica says, can we get a What Would Papa Swolio Do shirt? WWPSD. Yep, that's already... We might even have that for this week. That's already been planned for a long time, but I was actually talking about it previously. So anyway, that's something to remind yourself, is that anytime that people are observing you fuck around, then it's just hypocrisy. All right, let's see. Bobby Boy, when I started going back to the fucking gym, people at work noticed and asked. I had one coworker crack jokes about it. 8+ months later, down 50 pounds and putting on more muscle, more people at work ask me. Good for you. That's exactly how it's good for you, bro. That's exactly how it's going to work. That's how it's going to work. You keep crushing it. You keep crushing it, and you keep getting after it, and you keep on seeing progress. People are going to start paying attention, and they're going to start doing it on their own. They're going to start copying you or asking you questions. Because you show it's possible and you just ignore it and keep on going. The proof, right? The proof is undeniable. People are giving you shit, but then when you come back in over the course of months, like you said, you lost 50 pounds and you're muscular, you're feeling great and you look great objectively. Like, keep talking. Oh my God, were you eating your own food again? Yeah, I am. And what? Yeah. You still look fucking pregnant, bro. Yeah, emotional damage. Like,
emotional damage.
You're showing it. You're literally doing it. They're seeing you look awesome and crush it and make progress. Keep talking. I'm obviously not stopping. And it just makes you look stupider. It makes them look stupider and stupider and stupider. It just makes them look dumb, objectively. But a lot of times people can't stop when they're bullying or they're chiding, because that would be admitting that they were wrong. And they can't handle that kind of paradigm shift because it's too damaging for their own ego. So let them fucking have their own growth. Let them wallow in misery. Let them eat themselves to death. You can't save people, but you can inspire them by leading by example. So if someone asks for information, like, no, only I'm going to get in shape. Don't be a dick. But don't waste your time giving someone all this information. A lot of you probably will talk someone's ear off for 3 fucking hours and they'll nod. And then next day you'll see them with a bag of chips. You're like, what the fuck was I wasting my time for? So don't go down that hole. You might do it anyway and you'll learn the hard way. It's just frustrating. So just give them a little bit. And if they're incentivized and they're interested, they'll come and ask for more information. Give them something fundamental. Tell them to download the 7 pillars or have them check out Elimination Diet. Have them start by meditating a little bit, wherever the conversation goes. But people, if they really want to, they'll find more and they'll ask for more. There you go. Matthew, I invest in those who invest back into me. Yeah. And Jordan Peterson famously said, I don't know if he was the first one to say it, it's pretty commonsensical, but at the same time, it's a paradigm shift where it's like, if people aren't listening, stop talking to them. Don't talk to people that aren't listening. Don't waste your time. If the people that you're talking to regularly aren't listening to you, stop talking to them. Talk to people who will listen to you. It's that simple. If you're talking to family or you're talking to people and they're just, zoning out, just stop talking to them. Why would you talk to them? They're not listening. Kind of groundbreaking, but it shouldn't be. You talk to other people and they're listening, talk to them. Mind blown. All right, swole card time. Swole car time. Swole car time. Swole slut. I said swole slut. I said swole slut. Swole slut. What? Swole slut. All right, we got a fucking winner. Fam. He's been listening on Spotify for a long fucking time. First live stream, and what an amazing fucking post. You know what? Today's Swole Slut is easily Bobby Boy 3 fucking K. I love it. I love when we get some new blood and they drop some fucking smoke in the comments. Talk about someone who's literally doing exactly based on the rant. Literally, that rant is capped off with that awesome comment. Lead by example. Lead by example. Bobby Boy sent us an email to support@swolenormous.com. You're a new slut, but you're still a swole slut. Swole card 2528 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. If you've been listening to the show for as many months as you said, you will know that already. Carson, I wish I could share it. It's on my phone. Carson just posted in the Daily Swole Telegram chat a Conan O'Brien gif that says, "Damn it." It's fucking great. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. I love how interactive the show is. Congratulations. Bobby sent us that email, and we'll give the Swole card away. Carson, I will give you. How about this, Carson? How about this? And yes, Chris, I've already thought about the What Would Papa Swolio Do bracelets, those rubber bracelets, like the What Would Jesus Do? Exactly. Yeah, these are all things that are on the list that we like the concept of. So if you're all interested in the What Would Papa Swolio Do bracelets, so we can get on that. Carson, let's do a little soundboard. What do you request? Everyone drop your thoughts in the comments. Carson, make it up for me with a Dodson. You got it, fam.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here.
What a man cast, fam. What a fucking man cast. That might even be a sleaze cast. It's not even a man cast anymore. It's a sleaze cast. Making gains. So, like I mentioned, I think what we'll do because of this past overtime, I think we'll feature the same. We'll do like a double dip DWG next week. We'll do it again. And we also have Rise and Swole coming up on Thursday. We get the Ask Papa Swole live tomorrow. The accountability meet on Monday. What a week. What a Swole fam. What a Swole fam.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't have Flaming Dragon. I don't have it, but I have other ones.
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
This is Flaming Dragon! I should get that one. Are there any women here today?
Are there any women here today?
There's Tiny Tuck, Typical Tuck, Total Tuck, and the Tyrannical Tuck.
Lacey, I'm so excited about the Rise and Swole. Goddamn right.
The eyes, Chico. They never lie.
Shut up, bitch!
You're very welcome.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
You're welcome, Maggie. Thanks, Papa, for the sleeves cast. I got you, fam. Ooh, you people.
I don't believe you people.
What do you mean?
Let's fucking go.
Hadouken! Hadouken! Hadouken!
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
So per is a neo-pronoun that comes from the word person, which is why I really like him.
No medication except my fucking antidepressants.
You don't need to stop being a lady. Quit worrying. You'll be back on your knees in no time.
Got it. Cerny wants a Gump. I got you.
My name's Forrest Gump.
All right, here we go. Got the Gump with the piano cock. Okay, thank you so much for being here today, fam. Remember, join us, swolenormousx.com. Also, Ask Papa Swolio live tomorrow. Go to askpapaswolio.com to submit a question. And, let's... Hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Whew, that's getting hard. That's what she said. Fam, tomorrow, we'll see you for the Ask Papa Swolio live. Probably get that going in the morning a little bit earlier than today. But thank you so much for being here. We'll see you then. And of course, we'll continue in the Telegram chat 2529 tomorrow. It's going to be fucking lit. We'll see you there. Congratulations to Bobby. Send us that email and join the fam, swolenormousx.com. Thank you for being here. Peace, McGee's, Deuce McGoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they can't left and they so mad, it's like...
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made, that's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid, that's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies.